Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome to today's video. Improve your posture by breathing more effectively. I want to thank you guys for joining me real quick. I do value your time, and I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Computer posture can be a very boring and painful topic. I try to create content that is always free, open-minded, relatable, and easily actionable. Quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality, sedentary lifestyle. Do your research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own healthcare. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer. That's always going to be my number one goal. Increase energy, improve mental clarity, and increase work productivity. A quick note about me, I got a degree in information technology, so I've taken classes like workstation ergonomics and user experience, lifelong athlete and exerciser, as well as 20 plus years of a sedentary lifestyle. Here's a quick look at my website, sittingposture.com. If you want to, you can go here and sign up for my weekly email. I send on Fridays, only one email a week. I don't spam. That email will contain a link to the article that I wrote for my website on that week, as well as 2 links for the YouTube videos that I posted that week. All right, so let's get into today's video, improve your posture by breathing more effectively. Breathing is an important factor of having good posture at a computer, and I didn't always realize this. When I sat at a desk 40 hours a week, physical and mental stress would cause shallow breath and posture that was poor for me. It felt like the air I was breathing would barely pass below the airway in my neck, much less go into my lungs. As soon as the air would enter my lungs, I would exhale it right out. So the air that was going to my lungs wasn't spending any time in there. The air that was in my lungs was in there long enough just to keep me conscious. Instead of letting my breath work for me efficiently, my brain and body were always in more of a defensive, tense state instead of a restorative, healing state. All my muscles were either compressed or overextended, and they were all chronically tight before I started paying attention to breath work. I started paying attention to my lack of breathing and how it was directly related to my poor posture. So, one thing that I did was I read 2 books about breathing. The first book I read was titled Jaws, The Story of a Hidden Epidemic. It was written by Sandra, Kahn, and Paul Ehrlich. The second book I wrote was a very good book also. It was called Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art. It was written by James Nestor. I also took 2 classes that taught me valuable breathing exercises. I took an in-person course led by Brian McKenzie at shiftadapt.com. The other was a 10-week online course led by Wim Hof at wimhofmethod.com. I would definitely recommend each of these books and trainings to anyone who wants to improve their breath and their posture. Those 2 are directly related. Side note though, I'm not compensated by any of these writers or teachers. I'm simply a paying customer with my own money, and my quality of life has improved because of their books and their courses. I'll do future videos that summarize what each of these books and classes taught me, but today I won't go too in depth about what I've learned from each one specifically. I have 2 goals for this video, 2 main goals. I want to introduce the books and the classes that taught me everything I know about breath work and breathing exercises, which I've already done, and I want to express how breath work is directly related to improving my posture at a computer. So today I'm going to go over the 3 points about breathing I've learned so far from these books and classes. Factor number one, I needed to increase the amount of air I was taking into my lungs. Physical and mental stress from my desk job were causing shallow breathing all day and all night, not only while I was at my desk, but while I was exercising, while I was sleeping. The first of the breathing exercises I tried was called box breathing. Box breathing is a very basic breathing exercise where you breathe in, hold, breathe out, and then refrain from breathing. That's 1 rep right there. And for each of those steps in that rep, it's the same count. So for example, the first count I started with was 4 seconds. I would take a long, slow inhale for 4 seconds. I would hold that breath for 4 seconds. I would take a slow exhale for 4 seconds, and then I would refrain from breathing for 4 seconds. That's the first breath work I ever did, and that's called box breathing, a very basic and helpful way to increase your breathing capacity. Eventually, after I did it for a while, I would increase the amount of time for each rep from 4 seconds to 6 seconds. For example, breathe in slowly for 6 seconds, hold it for 6 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds, and then refrain from breathing for 6 seconds. Box breathing definitely increased the amount of air I was breathing in, and it's super simple. It's just a commitment type of thing and consistency of sitting down or laying down and putting in the work. It didn't only help while I was actually doing the breathing exercises, it carried over into when I was sitting at a desk, when I was exercising, when I was sleeping. It also increased the quantity of air I breathe throughout the day. So the second factor I want to talk about on how I improve my posture through breath work, I realized I needed to increase the amount of time air spent in my lungs. Not only the amount that was going in, but the amount of time the air spent in my lungs. To do this, I needed to get used to taking slower and deeper breaths, not quicker and more shallow and shallow breaths. Ironically, this would mean breathing less number of times. I learned this from Brian McKenzie over at shiftadapt.com. I've learned a ton from him, especially when it comes to breathing. He has a free breathwork test located at shiftadapt.com/breathwork. Go over there, check that out. Once I took this test, it gave me a new protocol for my breathing exercises. So I moved on from box breathing to what his test recommended. My score on that test was under the apnea 2 category. And that test gave me a new breathing protocol of inhaling for 6 seconds, holding for 18 seconds, which sounds crazy, and exhaling for 12 seconds, which also sounds crazy. That takes a lot of patience and very, very slow, deep breaths to get that accomplished. That's just what was recommended for me when I took the test, and it's helped a lot improving my posture through breath work. As of this video, I've been doing this protocol for about 6 months. I usually spend 5 to 10 minutes a day on it. This protocol has increased the amount of time air spends in my lungs. That's the biggest thing. It's helped improve my breathing in a big way when it comes to good posture at a computer. I definitely recommend taking Brian's test to see what protocol is best for you. Again, the link can be found at shiftadapt.com/breathwork. And the final factor for today, factor number 3, I needed to breathe through my nose as much as possible, not through my mouth. This goes for both inhaling and exhaling. I know the old rule of thumb when you're exercising when we were growing up was breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. But I have found many, many reasons to go against that these days and breathe through my nose as much as possible when it comes to inhaling and exhaling, whether I'm working at a desk, exercising, playing sports, sleeping, all the above. Like I said, it doesn't only apply when doing breathing exercises. It applies all day, whether we're sitting, exercising, or sleeping. There are many reasons that breathing through the nose is more efficient. For me, the biggest reason had to do with decreasing headaches. I think overusing my jaw muscles to breathe through my mouth would cause chronic muscle tension throughout my head, neck, and face. All these things are all the muscles and tendons in these muscles are directly connected. When one's tight, the other one is affected directly. I used to be a chronic mouth breather on both the inhale and the exhale. My jaw muscles were one of the most overused muscle groups in my body. For example, let's say I would breathe 15 short, shallow times per minute back then. So if I open my mouth to breathe 15 times per minute, that's 900 times per hour. When I was a chronic mouth breather, I got to the point where I didn't even open my mouth to breathe anymore. You can't open your mouth to breathe 900 times an hour forever. It just stays open eventually. It just stayed open all the time. Even when I would close my lips, my teeth were still wide open because my jaw muscles were so used to being in that open position. So that took a lot of body awareness to get used to, and knowing that even if my lips were closed, my jaw was still open. So I needed to really focus on closing that jaw. Since I've started breathing through my nose more, I've noticed an improvement in the health of my jaw and my face muscles. They've relaxed a lot more. My headaches have decreased because I don't open my mouth thousands of times a day just to breathe. I used to get a couple headaches a month when I was a chronic mouth breather. Now I'll go months without having a single headache, and it's a pretty righteous feeling to be able to say that. One more thing I want to mention, the more number of times I breathe through my nose, the better my nose works. So it's just like anything else. The more you use a muscle, the better that muscle's going to work, and so on. So that's it for today's video, improve your posture by breathing more effectively. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life, and that is definitely something to be proud of. If you want, like I said earlier, sign up for free email updates at sittingposture.com/newsletter. I only send out one email a week, and it's always free. That email will contain the link to the article that I wrote for my website that week, as well as the 2 YouTube videos that I posted that week. Download a free computer posture checklist if you'd like. This applies to sitting only. Haven't done one for standing yet. Sittingposture.com/checklist. And that is a PDF form that's easily printable. You can print it out and post it at your desk as a consistent reminder to check in on your posture. And finally, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see my videos in your feed more often. youtube.com/@sittingposture in your browser, and don't forget that @ sign. All of my content is free, and it always will be. The more people that see my videos, the more ability I have to make more content. So with that said, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. That would help me out a lot. And finally, feel free to forward this video to a friend or family member who sits at a computer full time. That is the ultimate compliment. Thanks. I appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Take care.